Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another Turbo Tyler video. We're back doing some more mods to the Focus today, and we're going to be making today a custom headlight intake for the Focus ST using this old Focus headlight that we got from the scrapyard. So yesterday, went to the scrapyard, picked up this old headlight off a base model Focus for 70 New Zealand dollars, so that's £35. And what we're going to be doing is basically cutting out the lens and gutting all the back of the headlight and then putting it in there so we've got a cold air feed for our intake. This isn't my original idea. I got this off some big turbo Focus guys in the UK. This is their idea, so shout out to those guys for giving me the idea. So let's get into it. What I'm going to be doing first is removing the factory lens, and this obviously is going to allow for the air to come through. And then once I have access to all the stuff in the back, we're going to gut the whole sort of back section to allow the air to pass through. So looks like what the guys in the UK have done is this sort of mold line, I'd describe it as. Looks like they've cut on the inside of that line. So we're going to go ahead and do the same, and what we're going to be using is the trusty Dremel. We've used this Dremel in a previous video recently where I did the bonnet vents, and it worked perfectly for that, so we're going to go ahead and do the same thing now. So let's go ahead and just start cutting along that line. I'm cutting through this headlight now with the Dremel like a hot knife through butter. It's cutting real simple, which is nice. Making a bit of a mess and it smells though. Took me about 15 minutes to cut all the way outside the perimeter, and then I just pried it off using my pry tool, and that was it. Next step now is to gut the internals of the headlight. So that's like the main cutting part of this job done now. There's a bit of cleaning up on the edges of the lines and stuff that I need to do, but I'm going to hold off doing that right now and just focus on stripping out this section of the headlight. I'm not actually sure how this comes out, whether it also needs to be cut out or it just unbolts. I'm not 100% sure. I think this part stays. All of this stays, and it's just these two that go. And I think you can unbolt those from the back. So we're going to get started on doing that now. I started off by taking out the obvious stuff like the bulbs and any screws that I could see in the back of the headlight. Then as the patience ran out, the pliers came out just to snip everything off. She's out, boys. I pulled out the remainder of the wiring and the plug, and then realised I needed to cut a lot more of the back section out than I thought. So marked across this sort of OEM mold line and went ahead and grabbed the grinder and cut this out as quick as possible. Alright guys, so this is where we're at the minute. This headlight weighs literally nothing now. It's just an empty plastic casing, so that's pretty cool. And as you can see, we've gutted all on the inside and just cut the back section out as well. So I'm pretty happy with where this is at the minute in terms of the amount that I'm taking off. All I need to do now is clean up the edges. So plastic, like burry edges, is always a bit of a pain to clean up, but you can literally just peel these off just by hand like that, and it cleans that edge right up. Chuck them in the bin. There is a section like here I need to take off a little bit more, so I'll get back on that with the Dremel and then clean this up maybe with some sandpaper or some files, something like that. And then it's literally time for painting. So that's the main part of the project done. I'm running out of light today, unfortunately, so I don't know if it's going to be done today. I've got to let the paint dry anyway, but it's going to be super cool. One of the other big turbo guys who did his, Tom, he put like a wire mesh, like chicken wire grill behind his, which looked pretty cool. I think I might do that on mine as well. I'm going to go down the hardware store and sort of have a look, see how much this is going to be. Because so far I'm into it for $70 for the headlight and $9 for the paint. So a pretty cheap intake, headlight intake. That's pretty cool. I'm really tempted to take that out and just test fit it because it looks so cool, but I'll just wait, carry on, and we'll just clean up the edges now. I went ahead and cleaned up all the edges with the Dremel, and it's looking a million times better already, and I couldn't resist myself, so I put it in for a quick test fit, boys, and it's looking awesome. Now the next step of it is painting. So we got the Scotch-Brite pad out and roughed up all the surfaces just for the paint to stick, and we just used literally the cheapest paint they had. It's super cheap, $9 can of satin black. Okay guys, so it's been a few days since I last touched base with you, and the last thing you would have seen is me painting the headlight intake. So I'll show you what it's turned out like. This is how it's looking now. It's been painted. Super happy with the way it's turning out. It's looking super like Darth Vader spec. But the only thing I'm not happy with as for a test fit is the fact that because the hole is so big, you can see all the orange and the wires and stuff behind the behind where the headlight would normally sit. So my plan is I'm going to add a bit of wire mesh behind this now. I went down to Bunnings, the local hardware store, and I was looking around at stuff like chicken wire and stuff like that, and all the holes were too big and it was pretty expensive. There was so much, I didn't need that much, but I've had a little thought. We're thinking a little bit outside the box with this one, and I've got a bit of a plan, so I'll show you that now. So what I've got to use as a mesh behind is this. So this is a $7 rubbish bin from Bunnings, and the mesh size is looking pretty perfect for what I need it for, and it's obviously super flimsy because it's just one of these cheap bins. So the plan is I'm going to cut the lid off, cut the bottom off, and then see if we can use the mesh and wrap it around the back of that headlight, and then obviously just put it in with a bit of epoxy, paint it black, that sort of thing, and see what we can come up with. The filming's probably not going to be the best today because it's so dark in the garage, and I have to do this stuff after work and a little bit of daylight we get. But yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to cut this off now. I'll take some photos and put them in with a bit of voiceover probably and show you guys how it turned out. So step one of this backyard bogan bodge we've got going on now is cutting the top and the bottom of this bin, which is obviously super easy, literally a 5-minute job. Then I went ahead and cut down a small section of it that would be used for the back of the headlight, and molded it to the back of the headlight, marked some edges where it needed to get cut off more, some relief, and then that's what it's looking like now, all mocked up. Then I put some self-tappers in just to hold it in. None of these you can really see when it's installed in the car, and then mocked it up for a quick test fit. So guys, that is the headlight intake installed. I'm super happy with the way it's turned out. Looks really cool, looks kind of like something you'd buy off the shelf. The only thing I'm not too happy about at the minute is when you get close and you look behind it, you can still see all the orange. I have thought about painting this whole section black just so it's black all the way. Some of the other guys will cut sections out for even more airflow, but I don't want to cut it out because I don't think the car will be legal for like MOTs and wafts and stuff. So I'm thinking about just painting that black so it looks a little bit better, but it's definitely going to do the job, definitely going to be functional. The air can still pass through there. I want to get like a steamer or something, or a vape or something, just to blow steam through there so I can see it actually getting all sucked in. It'd be really cool to see it actually happening. But no, I'm super happy with the way it's turned out. Looks really cool. I wish the other headlight was black, like the actual headlight, but black, that would make it look a lot better as well. But yeah, like that looks that looks pretty tough now. This car's come such a long way from when I first got it. Let me know down below if you guys think I'm ruining this car or making it look even cooler, because I'll put up a photo of what it looks like when I first got it, and it's like a completely different car. Some stuff I've definitely improved on, some stuff I'm still on the fence about, especially like the interior and whatnot, but the vision for this car is to be a full-on track beast, big turbo, everything like that, so we'll get there one day. Speaking of track, the next video you guys see on the channel is going to be the Focus back at Hampton Downs. We haven't been at Hampton Downs for so long. Basically, the last time we went, we weren't tuned, we didn't have the intake, and I think there was a few other things. We're going to get new tyres before the next track session as well, so make sure you guys stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys think of the headlight intake, and I'll see you in the next one.